Hello guys, welcome back to the second video in this series where we are reading my book club pick for the month with full spoilers. If you don't know, I do have a book club that I host over on Fable. It is the Bestie Book Club and it is always linked down below. And let me tell you something about it and what makes it so great. It is the lowest commitment book club you will ever be a part of. If you don't like the book we're reading, don't read it. Nobody's gonna be mad, nobody cares. If you like the book, read it. We do vote on the books for the month, and this was this month's winner. This was actually my suggestion. People suggested a bunch. We had I think like 4 or 5 to pick from, and this is the one that won, and it is The Lost Story by Miss Meg Schaefer. You can see I have the wishing game on display right there because that was I think my first 5-star read of the year. I really enjoyed it, and I am not a fantasy girl, so I feel like that says a lot. We are gonna jump right on into this. This is a full spoiler vlog, so if you have not read this book and you do not want to know anything about it, don't watch. I personally don't care about spoilers, so unless it's like a mystery, otherwise I'm good with all spoilers. But this book is about, people do compare this book to the Chronicles of Narnia. However, I've never read or watched the Chronicles of Narnia. I think it's a movie. I don't even really know, so that means nothing to me. But this is about best friends Jeremy and Rafe, and they went missing when they were boys with no explanation, and then 6 months later they reappear. And they have no explanation about like how they survived or where they went. Then we fast forward 15 years in the future, and Rafe is an artist who still bears scars inside and out but has no memory of what happened. And Jeremy has become a famed missing persons investigator. He's trying to help a girl named Emily find her sister in the same forest that Rafe and him went missing in. Jeremy alone knows the fantastical truth that while the rest of the world was searching for them, the 2 missing boys were in a magical realm filled with impossible beauty and terrible danger. He believes that is where Emily's sister is. For some unknown reasons, Jeremy has kept Rafe in the dark about what happened since their return. However, the time for burying secrets comes to an end as the quest for finding Emily's sister begins. The former lost boys confront their shared past no matter how traumatic the memories. So, we're going to get started on it. Not right this second, but this does have a map. Here it is. It's of Shenandoah. There's a big unicorn, and the names of some of these places are pretty cool. We've got Apple Pie Hill. I would love to be there. Ghost Town, Angel Windows, the Devil's Tea Table. We have got Sleepy Creek Village, Black Wolf Cave. So many fun things. And then there is a quote by C.S. Lewis, who is the author of the Chronicles of Narnia, in the front, and it says, "Someday you will be old enough to start reading fairy tales again." And one thing me and Chris, my husband, always do is we read the first sentence and rate it. So we're going to rate the first sentence of the prologue. 15 years ago, before our story begins, once upon a time in West Virginia, 2 boys went missing. I see, that's a pretty interesting first story. But let us hop right on into the Lost Story. Okay, I've read the prologue and the storyteller and chapter 1. So far, it is very interesting. In the prologue, we basically found out that we have our Ralphie or something along that line, and Jeremy. Jeremy is more the main focus currently. As young boys got lost in the forest, and in the first chapter we have these 2 characters who are going on a hike in the woods, and before they go they kind of are looking at the map, and on the map there is these old, like 6 months ago, missing posters for these 2 boys, and as they're going on their walk in the woods they're taking pictures, and in the background of one of the pictures they see a boy, and they're getting ready to leave, and then all of a sudden the 2 boys come basically running out of the forest, and they are found after all this time. Then we also I love it starts with Once Upon a Time. And then we fast forward, or then we get like a message from like the storyteller basically telling you like the formula of writing a good story. I don't understand the point of that yet, but I'm sure we will. And we get into chapter 1, and we have our main female character, Emily. And Emily is driving 2.5 hours away to go somewhere where Jeremy, who is now a like missing persons detective, she's going to where he is currently located because he's filming like an interview to try to get him to take her sister's case. And so after they're done filming, she goes up to him and is like, please, can I talk to you, blah, 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 blah. And essentially, 20 years ago, her half-sister went missing and is presumed dead. Emily never knew her sister because Emily was adopted, and her mother always warned her, her adoptive mother, who was also recently passed away, like a few months ago, warned her to never do one of those DNA sites. But after her mom died, she felt very alone. She didn't have any other family, so she did it. And it came up as like a couple of distant cousins and then like a unknown close relation. After she does this, she gets a call from the FBI wanting to talk to her about her sister. And she's like, what are you talking about? The unknown, unclassified person was her sister, and they had used blood that they retrieved off of the truck of the kidnapper, and basically were like, we just want to be able to contact you if we like find any more information. And so with this, she kind of went on a deep dive trying to figure out what happened, and essentially her sister, when she was 13, was kidnapped, and a couple of days later, the kidnapper, they presume, fell off of like a ledge and died or something to that effect. He died. They found his body, but they never found her sister. And so she is confronting this Jeremy guy, and he's like, yeah, I'll help you. And she's like, okay, but I have to tell you, she went missing at the Red Crow State Forest, which is where Jeremy and Ralph, is that his name? Yeah. Jeremy and Ralph also went missing. That same thing. And whenever he says that, he's like, sorry, I can't help you. I have a flight to catch. I gotta go. And she's like, wait, like, why won't you help? He's like, I just can't, blah, 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 blah. And this is savage. She's like, wait, that's her picture. Just look into her eyes and tell her you don't care what happened. That's all I ask. Take it. And she tells him, like, my mom left me a lot of money. I can pay you well. Like, I need your help. Help me. And he's saying, no, let your sister rest in peace. And then she says, if that was Ralph Howell's body in the Red Crow, would you just walk away? He stopped, but only for a second before doing just that. So far, it's very interesting. I'm really liking it. I've already had some highlights that I highlighted in the, like, prologue situation. I can read them to you. Skip through. Okay. It says, you looked for missing children. You mourned lost ones. By November... Or yeah. Yeah. Rewind. You look for missing children. You mourn lost ones. Then another thing I highlighted was, first you were missing, then you were lost, then you were forgotten. And then this one's kind of funny. That's why I highlighted it. It says, they didn't have fairy tales in West Virginia. They were lucky to have Target. Hilarious. But yeah, I'm only 8% in. It seems like it's going to take me about 5 hours to read this book. But I got nothing but time tonight, and it is only 6 o'clock. I mean, there's a possibility I finish it today. I don't really see that happening. My plan was to finish it by tomorrow, but we will see. I'm so far very into it. Okay, friends, it's about 7:53, so about 8 o'clock, and I'm now tuckering in to read this book. I ate dinner and doom scrolled for a bit, but we're gonna get back to it now. And like I said, I'm really enjoying it so far, so I hope that continues. I feel like it's like a mystery mixed with a fantasy, which is good for me because I don't read fantasy, but I read a lot of mystery. So hopefully those types of vibes will make this be a success for moi. Oh my god, so she's like praying to her sister and she's like, help me, Shannon. I'll keep trying, but if you can send a little help from beyond, I'll take it because I can't find you alone. With a sigh, she stepped out of the labyrinth and looked up. Jeremy Cox stood a few feet away on the hillside. We love to see it. Yo, okay, so he says, this is your sister who was kidnapped and supposedly murdered 20 years ago? Yeah, why? What do you mean supposedly? Emily waited for the punchline to the joke, but when it came, it felt just like a punch. Because she wasn't murdered in the woods. How do you know? Because when we were lost in the woods, we saw her? Oh my god. Very intrigued. Okay, y'all, I'm reading this, like, very close to the anniversary of my mom dying. And so there's this one line, it says, and whenever anything good happened, she wanted to tell her mom first. She didn't know what to do with all this hope and despair fighting inside her heart. Literally me at all times. And so she's been telling Jeremy how her mom's St. Agatha necklace was lost, and she's feeling weird about letting Jeremy into her house, and he, like, closes his eyes and says a prayer, and he's like, your mom's necklace is under her bed. Go check. Like, you can trust me. That's where it is. Da 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 da. I don't really know how that makes her trust him, but she's like, I've already checked under the bed. He's like, check again. It might have gotten caught. And she's, like, looking her through the bed, and she can't find it, and then eventually the sun shines through the room, and she sees something glittering under the bed, and it's her mom's necklace. I feel like something happened when Jeremy was, like, away, when he was lost, and now he's, like, magical, because he's also, besides one person that he's been, like, looked for in his, like, detective work, he's found everybody dead or alive. So I feel like he's, like, magical at finding things or something like that. Okay, so Emily and Jeremy are going through all of Shannon's things, and Jeremy definitely knows Shannon from wherever she is lost, where he was when he was lost. That's where they know each other from. And he, I guess, is getting really emotional about it. And he looks over at her and is like, thanks for finding me. And she's like, you're scaring me. And he's like, good. We need to go. We need to get I don't know if it's Ralph or Rafe. Ralph, who goes by R-A-F-E, however you say that. They need to go get him. And, Jeremy's like, the only issue is, like, he doesn't like me, so it's gonna be difficult. So, and he says he needs to go talk to him alone because he hates him for good reason, but they need him to find her sister, who he believes is definitely alive. Very intrigued. Also, every few chapters, there's these weird, like, storyteller corner. I don't really understand what they're for or why they exist, but maybe eventually I will. According to this storyteller corner, Rafi is the hero of the story, because the first one was like the recipe for a fairy tale, and it told you like all the things you needed, one of them being a hero. The more unlikely the better, and it's talking about how he is the hero of the story. So hopefully that means that he's going to be the hero into helping find Shannon, who is Emily's sister. So the previous chapter before the storyteller said like it's about to get weird, and then at the end of the storyteller chapter it was like it's about to get weird, ready? And so now we're in Rafi's chapter, and there's like poachers, and he's trying to like avoid get the poachers to get out of the forest because they're like hunting this bear and like her cubs. And he like puts out these smoke bombs, whatever, they leave, and now it's just him and the bear bows to him. I don't know, very odd. So for some reason, unbeknownst to us so far, Rafe does not like Jeremy. However, he is wearing Jeremy's St. Anthony necklace, his medal. And I guess when they were in the hospital, they traded necklaces. And so maybe there's some hope that he will help Jeremy if he's still wearing the necklace. He can't hate him that much. So we know it's been 15 years since they've seen each other. I'm just so curious as to like what possibly could have happened. My only current thought and theory on that is that we know that Rafe doesn't remember anything that happened while they were lost. And something tells me that like he wanted Jeremy to tell him what happened, and Jeremy refused, and that drove a wedge between them. But that's just purely speculation at this point. I may be onto something, because it says, but whatever Jeremy wanted from him, Rafe told himself he wouldn't do it. Not unless Jeremy paid up in the answers to the questions he asked 15 years ago. I might be really smart or something. I'm definitely right. It says, can you blame me? 15 years ago, I begged you to tell me what happened in the woods and you refused. So I think that's what drove them apart. But I also wonder why only one of them remembers. Especially when the storyteller says that Rafe is the hero. Maybe something happened and he had to, like, in order for them to get back, they had to like, remove all of his memories or something. That's, like, a thought and a feeling. I had that feeling, and I feel like maybe I'm just too smart for this book. It says, nothing's changed. I couldn't tell you 15 years ago. I still can't tell you now. Can you at least tell me why you can't tell me? The truth is too dangerous to tell, even to the person you trust the most in the world, especially to the person I trust the most in the world. So I feel like they had to, like, remove his memories, and, like, if he tells them, bad things are gonna happen. So Jeremy knows about all these times that Rafe has been put into the mental hospital, and he's saying that it's because of his mom that he knows, but I feel like for some reason that's not why, that they're, like, just somehow connected, and Jeremy knows everything that's been going on in his life. He has also told Rafe that if he helps him find this girl, then he will know everything. So apparently we're gonna find out. Okay, so Emily is gonna go meet Jeremy. She's like, has he agreed? And he's like, no, but he will. Just meet me at his house. Here's the directions, print them out. When you get lost, call me and I'll find you. And then hangs up. Everything he's doing is so cryptic, and she's really scared. And she said that if her mom was here, she would tell her she's scared, and her mom would say, I know, but scared is a feeling, not an excuse. New life motto. Okay, so Rafe is like an artist, and he does like woodworking, and I guess there's like a sculpture of a woman in his like yard or something, and it's of the sister that's missing, but he doesn't remember her at all. And so Rafe gets back to the house and he's like, who are you? And she says, my name is Emily and that is my sister, and points to the sculpture. So like his subconscious does remember. They keep bringing up Rafe's dad, and it like seems like Jeremy doesn't like him, so I'm very curious as to what the tea is there. But something's telling me that like Rafe's dad is like a bad guy, but I don't know how that would fit into like the magicalness of this, but that's a feeling that I'm getting. It also says you're forgetting the part where he's the reason we got lost in the first place, so I do think the dad definitely had something to do with that. So Rafe has just scars all over his back and no idea how he got them. He thinks it might have happened while he was lost at the Crow, but not sure, so that's really, really weird. Just had a thought. So a couple of chapters back, we read a poem that was amongst Shannon's belongings that she wrote in school about being like a queen, like a lost queen or something like that. And Jeremy keeps calling Emily princess, and he's like, I'm doing it out of respect, da 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 da. So now my thought is, wherever this land is that they got lost in, that Shannon is the queen, and because Emily's her sister, he's calling her princess. That's where I'm at right now. 28% in, and we got the pronunciation. It's Rafe, not Rafe. Because I guess Jeremy is British, and that's how they would say Ralph or something. I don't really know. But he says, thou shalt pronounce thy name Rafe. And what? Sounded like he said rave. Rafe. He says again, rhymes with safe or chafe, like rage with an F. Got it? Kind of weird they like forced him to change his name, but whatever. It seems that Rafe likes it. But now we know how to say it. This storyteller corner about moms is so funny. It says, you'll learn that there are only two types of mothers you'll meet in these stories. 1, good and dead, or 2, bad and alive. Fathers usually fare better. They live longer. Oh my god. Literally, if they're good, they're dead. If they're alive, they're bad. Simply the truth. And the third type of mother is a fairy godmother. Love it. Maybe I'm reaching with this one, but the day that they got lost, the day before they got lost, Rafe does not remember anything about that day. He only remembers going to bed the night before, and him and his dad got in a really bad fight because he asked if he could sleep over at Jeremy's, and he said no because it was a school night. And then after he was done eating dinner, instead of helping with the dishes, he started working in his sketchbook and sketching, and his dad was like, stop doodling and help your mother. And he's like, why don't you help her for once? And his dad took the sketchbook and looked through it, and I'm getting the vibes that a lot of his drawings were of Jeremy, Jeremy's house, Jeremy's pets, like Jeremy's life, and it pissed his dad off, and his dad ripped up the whole notebook. So he, I guess, apparently somehow the notebook, the pictures got taped back together, and he's like, yeah, I guess I did it. I don't know. I don't remember. And he pulls out a sketch, and it's of Jeremy's mom in the garden. He's like, do you want this one? He's like, yeah, I'll keep it with the other one. What other one? He took the picture out of his wallet, and in it was a sketch of Jeremy laid out on his mother's baby blue antique sofa in the music room, reading something, probably homework. He was shirtless in the sketch, but otherwise it was nothing but an innocent drawing of his best friend doing homework. I feel like Rafe might be in love with Jeremy. That might be a stretch. but he's mentioned a lot of pictures being of Jeremy. And maybe that's why his dad got so mad. Because his dad's like, I'm a big mean hunter man. Why do you like their house better? Probably because he felt safe there. Unlike in your house. And it said, you gave me and he said, where'd you get that? You gave it to me the day we got lost. You were upset, and when I asked what happened, you showed me this. So. And then it says, guys, dinner's ready, coming, da 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 da. You forgot how well I know you. We're like old cellmates. We know each other's crimes. What crimes? We both know why your dad tore up your sketches. It wasn't because he didn't want you going to art school. Oh, and the maps are at the bottom of the closet. So I think that's Jeremy being able to, like, know where things are, like the missing girls and the necklace and whatever. So I think he's, like, got some sort of magic there. But I think they're either in love with each other or Rafe is in love with Jeremy. And his dad did not approve, because that sucks. Maybe this is cheating, but I looked at the tags for the genres on Goodreads. And right there is LGBT, so I think I'm right. Oh my god, they definitely love each other. It's so cute. She's like, can I ask you a question? And he said, only if it's archery related. It is. It's archery related in every aspect. Go ahead. So when did Cupid's arrow first hit you? The day you met Rafe, or was it later? He froze momentarily and then pulled back at the string. The day we met. The second we met. For me, anyway. That's so cute. Y'all, I'm cackling over this. Literally cackling over this. It's also been definitely confirmed that one of the reasons when they went missing that Rafe did not want to come home. It was like, what about Rafe? Was he in love with you too? Jeremy pulled another arrow and took his breath. Yes, when we were gone those 6 months, yes. But only then. With Rafe's dad, well, his dad was one of the many, many reasons we didn't want to come back home. Poor sweet baby Rafe. I could cry. The time that they were together was when they were lost, and Rafe doesn't remember it, and it says, Jeremy says, I don't know what's worse, that he doesn't remember that I'm in love with him, or that he doesn't remember that he was in love with me. That's so sad. Rafe's mom is savage. He's like, do you ever miss dad? And she's like, do you? I shouldn't have said that. You're just a lot more forgiving than I am. And he says, no, I'm not. Honestly, fuck his dad. So they all had weird dreams the night before they're leaving on this adventure. And in their dreams, they each were visited by their, like, dead parent. Emily's mom said she was proud of her and kissed her and said goodbye. Jeremy's mom said, have fun, my love, but watch your back. And Rafe's dad was there and said, if you go, I'll never forgive you. And then Rafe looked down at the table and was like, we don't need the maps, do we? And Jeremy said, I never said we did. All we need is you. Emo. So they got to the forest, but Jeremy's like, we can't take our phones. Put them in the glove compartment. It's for your safety? Very weird. Jeremy just pulled out a sword, okay? He had told her that he swords fights, but she thought it was a joke, and so did I. And he's like, nah. And Rafe is like, Jeremy has a sword, and you don't bring a sword to a park unless you think you need a sword. And if Jeremy thought we needed a sword, either he's crazy or something's out there. So he's asking Rafe if he's okay, and he's like, he wasn't. He was absolutely not at all right. So this is getting very odd. Okay, they're hearing something in the forest. Emily said she's hearing something call her name. They're like, we better go and answer them. We're going in, baby. I'm excited. They just came across a tree. They're like in the forest, and Rafe is guiding them. Like, he just instinctively knows where to go, and then they're going like up these like mountains, whatever. And they come to a plateau, and it says, here the trees seem older, blah 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 blah. And in the center of the grove stood a strange tree. A tree seemed to rise forever, spread forever, the emperor of all trees. The trunk was as wide as a small car with a hollow in it, like a mouth of a screaming ghost. Or a door. That's where they're going. They're going in the door, baby. So they landed on into this new world. Emily is still sleeping, but Rafe is like mesmerized by everything because everything around him is the things he's been painting for years. And he's like, I wasn't painting my dreams. I was painting my memories. Jeremy nodded. This is what you wouldn't tell me. Couldn't tell you. So he like had been kind of subconsciously remembering all of this time. it's Shannon's kingdom. Oh my god. So he's like able to tell him everything. He's basically telling him how they got lost, and then they ended up going into the kingdom of Shenandoah. Not like the river, you spell it with an A. Named for Shannon Yates. So Shenandoah. Not Shenandoah. Oh my goodness gracious. And Emily's finally awake and she's like my sister? Confirmed her sister goes by Skya here, and it is her kingdom. Oh my gosh, okay. So I guess Shannon, or Skya didn't tell us much about her life before she came here, but she did say she had a sister, as in Emily. She didn't know her name, so there she's in Shenandoah. She's always been called the Lost Princess of Shenandoah. And that's why he's calling her princess. Turns out the bad people of this world are called bright boys, and they look like teenage boys, but like they feed on fear and they have sharp teeth. And the heroes are a bunch of girls with swords riding on horses. So honestly, love that, but we can confirm that it was these bright boys who caused the scars on Rafe. Okay, this is so interesting. So I guess Skya always left a spot for Emily at the table, and Jeremy was gonna go back home, and Rafe wouldn't let him leave without them, but Skya wouldn't let them both go back because it would be too dangerous for Shenandoah. Because if two people said that there was magic, then maybe they'd go look for it. If one person did, it was like, they're kind of like crazy. Whatever. So what she did was she divided their memories in half. And so Jeremy would remember everything about the place, but would have no memory on how to get back there. And like the Red Crow would be like the Bermuda Triangle for him, no way for him to get back. And from Rafe, she took all the memories of the place, but left the memory of how to get back there. And that's why he would try to drive there in his sleep, why they needed Rafe to come with them to go find Shannon, because without him they could never get back. Interesting. He's confirming that there was one ironclad rule that he could not tell Rafe. If he told them, they would never be allowed to come back. And then it said, before you locked your book, because he had to draw in his book everything he had to forget, and Jeremy had to burn the map to forget how to get back. And he said, whatever I do, whatever I say, no matter how much I beg, don't tell me anything. So this next interlude chapter is really weird. It's like in the end of the prior chapter, Rafe says, how did you just survive 15 years without this? And Jeremy was like, you don't want to know? Then the interlude story corner chapter says, if you actually do want to know how Jeremy survived those 15 years, read chapter 17. If you don't, you can skip it, and we'll meet again after in chapter 18, but I would read it if I were you. P.S. If you noticed Emily suddenly seemed to disappear from the last chapter, good eye. I'm so curious. Okay, this chapter's kind of long, and it's just going through what he's done throughout all of these years, but it is confirmed that like if he thinks about what something looks like, he can find it. That's how he's found these girls. So he found a girl's ring at school when he like realized he could do it. And like there's a girl named Petra, and she's been missing. When Jeremy called her name inside his head, he saw her curled up asleep deep inside a rotting log. It took him 1 hour to find her. So he does have some sort of power to find things. Also, I think he's been kind of sent on this mission when he returned home to find Emily, the lost princess. Which is why he has, like, maybe been given this ability to find people and things. Possibly. Also, he'd been sending Rafe postcards all this time. We just found out that he would send him postcards from the city of where he found a girl. Very weird. So we know that Jeremy's dad unalived himself because we've been told it's like he was depressed, but apparently his dad had schizophrenia. That's just being kind of like thrown in here at the 50% mark. So I'm not really sure where we're going with that. Okay, I get why it's brought up, because the person said it's hereditary, and so then Jeremy starts thinking maybe he imagined everything at Shenandoah, and that like maybe that's why Rafe doesn't remember it, because it did not happen. But one day he gets a package at the door, and he does sign for it, and he's like, what could this possibly be? And it's all of Rafe's paintings, and it's like a note that was sent, because the package was sent to his mom from Rafe's mom, and it's basically all of his paintings, and in it it's like all these paintings of him, and then another painting, Jeremy kneeling before a young queen holding a sword, another Jeremy in dark leather armor, Jeremy walking a sorrel stallion through a field of rainberry blossoms. So these paintings are proving to him that no, it did happen. So yeah, basically he's been searching for Emily this whole time, and then she found him. And then now we're starting chapter 18, and they're finally noticing that Emily's gone. So where'd she go? Did she get captured? Did Skaya come and get her? I do not know. Oh my god, I think I wasn't recording this whole time. Okay. So embarrassing. We're calling it quits for the day. We are approximately 52% through the book, and I am absolutely loving these like little storyteller interludes. This one was so funny. It felt like you were like, it felt like when you're watching kind of like an anime, and it's like, last time, da 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 da, here's what's going on. It goes through and explains what all the Valkyries look like, and I always want to say Valkyrie every time.
The streamer?
Yeah, like I say it in my head that way every time. And then I was like, now we return to our crisis in progress. But I will definitely finish this tomorrow. Chris is going to a concert. He's leaving at like 3 o'clock, so I'll just be like vibing all night. So honestly, there's a chance I read the rest of this and a whole nother book tomorrow. You never know. But I'm really enjoying it, and as of right now, I could see, depending on how the second half goes, it being 5 stars. For somebody who absolutely does not read this genre at all, being able to jump right into it, and the fact that it's just over 300 pages, and it being like a fantasy, there's no like wild world building. Half of it is set in the regular world, and I think that that's really helpful for somebody who's not super into fantasy to be able to enjoy a magical story without spending 150, 200 pages just describing the world, because that's where you lose me. That's why I have to see how the second half of this goes, because now that we're in the magical world, I worry that it'll become that way and then I'll be bored. But I really love all of the characters, and so far it's going great. Day 2 of reading this book, and y'all, like I said last night, it's giving 5-star energy. I'm feeling excited to get into it, which is wild. Prior to this book, I've been in quite a book slump. So the fact that I'm like been itching to get back to this all day has me thrilled. I hope that the second half doesn't disappoint. I am a little bit worried, but we will see. I'm also reading it on my Kindle because who am I if not obnoxious like that? According to Cindy the Kindy, we have 2 hours and 41 minutes left. Easy peasy. We will be finishing this today. I did only sleep 4 hours last night, so I am quite sleepy. And that is not because I was reading. It was because I'm mentally unwell, you know? So, there's that. But I'm going to set y'all up for a cute little time lapse, and gonna be it. That's going to be the setup for now. Yeah, I think we're gonna be getting into some crazy shit because our girl Emily has been taken, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so weird. So like, Emily is taken, and they're talking to the Valkyries, and they're basically like, yeah, Emily's no longer your concern. That's what Skaya said, move on. And he's like, that's what she said. And then he has like a note from her that says, stop arguing with the Valkyries, asshole, and do as you're told. But, like, you just keep saying she's no longer your concern, and that's spooking me. So, also, apparently, Tempest recognized them from the start, and the sword fight was like a ruse to distract them, and I'm guessing so that whoever took Emily could take Emily. Evidently Jeremy's a knight. Not sure why Rafe is a king and Jeremy is a knight, but that's the info we've just been dropped. Okay, so they had their first encounter with one of the Bright Boys, and he's trying to get Rafe to come with him to see his king for some unknown reason. That's pretty much all that happened in that chapter. Nothing super notable. I am like worried that like I said, it's gonna start getting a bit too fantasy-esque. I was talking to one of my friends about it. And like, as stupid as this sounds, like Harry Potter, I want like a middle grade fantasy. I want the like fantasy, like depthness to be that of middle grade, but the story to be like a real story. But I'm gonna get a snack to eat while I continue because I have not eaten much today and I'm getting quite hungry. Okay, I took a break for a snack and now I'm getting back into reading. It's now 5 o'clock. I was watching videos and doing, so I still have 2.5 hours left. I don't honestly probably go to sleep because I'm freaking pooped. And the next book I'm reading is spooky, and I don't want to read a spooky book while I'm home alone because I'm already feeling spooked. But we just got to the part where Emily has met Skaya and is like, this is a lot to process, so we'll see how this goes. I'm so tired. The bright boys can only be killed by water, so they're literally the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay. Sister Skaya is going on some mission, and she needs Emily to kind of just stay put because if anything happens to her, Emily has to become queen. Because even though Rafe is the prince, there can be no kings in Shenandoah. It's ruled by girls only. It's basically Barbie land, and I fully support it. But Rafe is telling Jeremy about the bright boys saying, I need to take you to our king. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. There's no kings in Shenandoah. So, not really sure how that's like a thing. So, who knows? But Shannon or Skaya was saying that she has to go on a very dangerous mission and she might not make it out. But they're going to try to hurt Rafe, so she has to go. And so we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so they just went into like where they used to live, their house in Shenandoah, to look for the book with Rafe's memories, and apparently it was stolen by a bright boy, and it says somewhere in the ghost town, there's somebody who calls himself the king, and he wanted your memories. We don't know why, only Queen Skaya is pursuing him there. She swears she will bring the book back to you, but until then, you both must stay in place and not leave until it is safe again. So, whoever this king is bad news, and for some reason wants Rafe some memories. Not sure what that could be about. Oh my god, this guy there is an old enemy of the prince, and is too dangerous for the prince to face. Why do I think it's Rafe's dad? That's my current theory in my head. So the ghost town is evidently lost souls who can't move on. So I think I might be kind of correct about the daddy situation. I may be getting onto something. Oh my god, I'm emo. I didn't want your homecoming to be like this. There was so much that I wanted you to remember. Then tell me. A slight smile played across his lips. Jeremy stood. Better, I'll show you. I hope they smooch. So apparently, like, Jeremy's gift is he can, like, find things, but he can only find things that want to be found. If something or somebody does not want to be found, you can't find it. And Rafe's ability is he, like, has, like, power over birds, which is so weird. But, like, in the beginning, there was, like, an injured robin, and he told the robin, you're not gonna die, you're gonna fly again, and then all of a sudden it was healed. So he's, like, the bird whisperer. It's like my dad's dream job, I swear to God. The amount of joy this brings me. They rode hard. Emily slept miserably. We'll skip ahead. Perfect. That's what I want to see. I don't want to read about this boring ass journey. So Skaya is taking her job as big sister very seriously, and all she wants to do is protect Emily, and she's like, please get on, and I promise you I'll do everything I can to come back alive. Then we can be sisters, okay? My heart. Okay, Emily just dove off the ship. That seems like bad news. Oh, I guess she forgot her mouse. So, sorry, I forgot Fitz. What? I left Fitz in the pouch of Morgan's saddlebags. Oops. Oops, that wasn't an accident. Don't lie to me. What the hell were you thinking? I'm thinking you were my sister, and I'm not going to let you go to a place all like that all alone. My heart! Okay, so Jeremy told Rafe how he came to visit him at the mental hospital and that he punched his dad in the face because he was, like, being an asshole. Love that. And then they were, like, kind of cuddling, and it was so cutie. Ugh, I love them. And then they got from, like, the grandma that they're staying with, Granny Appleseed something, I don't know. She gave them, like, the tips of what to do, and it's kind of reminding me of in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire when they were going through the maze where it's, like, dark and, like, things play tricks on you and stuff. She's like, watch out, like, things aren't going to be what they seem, XYZ, don't lose each other. And yeah, very intrigued as to how this little ghost town is gonna go. Jeremy kissed him on the cheek and said it's good luck to kiss a prince. Duh, love it. So I guess more ghost town looks like a shadow of Morgantown, West Virginia, which is, I'm assuming, where they're from. It says the bones of the shops and the spines of the streets were still there, but the flesh of the city was gone, eaten away by something. So I'm still very convinced that this, like, bad guy is his dad. It has to be his dad. They've already been separated. I'm one page later. I feel like there's a lot of beautiful quotes in this book, and I just was reading this other part that he, like, has approached this lady. She's like, have you seen the moon? I lost the moon. What? How do you lose the moon? He asked. She looked up angrily. Hateful sky. You lose the moon the same way you lose hope. One day you look up, and it's gone. It literally gives me chills. So I'm not sure this is really Jeremy, but they, like, are in Jeremy's house in this, like, weird version of their hometown. And it might be Jeremy, it might be a bright boy, don't really know, but he ran into, like, a bright boy disguised as his dad, telling them why he unalived himself, and it was because he saw a future that he would run away and break his mother's heart. He couldn't stand the thought of being a father to a kid like that. Yeah, so he killed the bright boy that was disguised as his dad. Oh my god. They're gonna go to the king. I'm nervous. He told them they were in love. Oh god, they got to Rafe's house, which we all know his dad's gonna be in there, and they just took all of their weapons. No, it's his dad. I hate it. I hate it so much. And it says, the storyteller coroner, yes, in case you were still wondering. Yes, that really is the lost soul of Rafe's father. Let him stay lost. He doesn't deserve to finish his business. He's a bitch. Okay, so there's something in Rafe's memory book that his dad's trying to get to, but he can't open it. Only Rafe can open his memory book. And there's something he doesn't want him to remember, and I bet you it's that he and Jeremy are in love. And I hate that. It's so fucking stupid and irritating. It makes me so mad. But also, Emily has to get him a message of do it in one, and I'm thinking it's like a callback to how he killed a spider from far away in one shot. So here's to hoping that's what happens, because I want this guy to be freaking gone. Oh my god. So Emily is having like a flashback to working as a vet tech, and about a pit bull who came in with a bunch of scars from being beaten with an electrical cord, and it says that they look exactly like the scars on the back of Rafe's back, and says what? Now she knew what Rafe's dad wanted with that sketchbook. He wanted to make sure that Rafe never remembered that night, the night that he beat him with an electrical cord. This time when Jeremy tried to kick the door down, she did not try to stop him. It's not about him and Jeremy, it's because his dad doesn't, like, his unfinished business is he doesn't want Rafe to ever remember that he beat the shit out of him, because his dad sucks. Oh my god, so they brought Emily up, and she's, like, gagged, and she can't talk, and trying to, like, force Rafe to destroy the book. And he doesn't know, like, what's in it, but his dad's like, you need to destroy it, you need to destroy it. And he's like, no, blah, 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 blah. And then he's about to give in, and a single red feather appears in front of him, and it's like the red feather that he used to kill a spider to save Skaya before. And he says, I'll play you for it. Play? Let's kill spiders. You know, like old times. Oh my god, it's like a callback to the beginning where he and his dad would have this competition to try to kill this little dot of a spider that they drew on the not like the bullseye, what is it called? The dartboard? Not the dartboard, the archery board, whatever the thing is called, the circle thing. His dad could never do it, only Rafe could. Oh my god. Oh my god. Also, Emily's message to him is do it in one. Oh my god. I hope the rat crawls out of Emily's pocket and somehow, like, bites through whatever's, like, gagging her so that she can't talk, so she can, like, scream out, do it in one. That would be so epic. Even though Emily's tied up, her hands are tied in the front and she can still move her hands. She held up her English finger and then nodded, because his dad asked him how many rounds they want to do, so she went like this. And he tells him 1 round, 1 arrow. 1 arrow, just one, just one. No one gets it in one, son. So you win, right? You can get it, boss. We'll be mighty disappointed if you don't, said Snake Teeth. You can do it, big man. Oh my god, this is so good. They're trying to make him shoot Jeremy. What the fuck? Oh my god, he got the spider. And then Skya yells, West by God, Virginia, because that's been like the running joke. Oh my god. Just got chills. Emily stabbed Ripper and is saving our boy, Rafe. There's also been this running joke that they want to boop Death in the face, and she booped him. I can't. This piece of shit is trying to blame Rafe for him beating the shit out of him. Like, you beat the shit out of your kid and then you're gonna blame the kid. Yeah, that. And when I saw you tape those pictures back together, I lost my mind. I lost control of myself. I just lost it. So it was my fault. No, not your fault, sweet baby. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. You said you hated me. You said over and over again how much you hated me and how much you wished you lived with Jeremy and his mother and that they weren't a bunch of stupid rednecks like me. And you were 40 and I was 14. Facts. His father began to weep. I only wanted to protect you, son. I was afraid. Afraid if people knew about you boys, they would hurt me? Rafe asked. Dad, you're the only person I've ever been afraid of. That is highlight worthy, baby. Oh yeah, fuck this guy, hate him so much. The quotes in this chapter are so good. You are not a king, this is Skya talking, and you never have been. You are a sad old man afraid of your own son, but when the moment of decision came, you gave your knife to my sister instead of one of your vile army. I grant you one final chance to mend what you tore into pieces. If you succeed, your soul will lighten. You may grow wings and fly from this place to the blue sky. Whether you find hawks or heaven, it is not up to me. But I can say this, if you fail, you will never feel the sun on your face again. Hell yeah. Aurora, Sky's red crow, is who saved her from the predator when she got kidnapped. Oh my goodness. And I guess, so they're going over like their story, the lost story that Skya wrote, and it was like this whole story about Shenandoah. And yeah, this huge red bird came out of nowhere and started pecking at his face, and when they found his body, his eyes had been pecked out. So that's awesome. We're referencing back to the beginning when we talked about the making of a fairy tale, that things always come in threes, and apparently the door into this world can only be opened 3 times. The first time was by Skya, the second time was by Rafe and Jeremy, and now they brought her through. This was the 3rd time. So if they leave, the door closes and locks from the inside and can never be found again. Rafe is trying to decide if he wants to open the journal, and they're talking about whether he should, whether he shouldn't, whatever. And he's like, but what about the bad memories? And he's like, well, what about the good ones? And they're talking about one of the bad memories of when they woke up and it was beginning to become winter. And finally ordered me to tell you what I was thinking in my mind. I was picturing Mom all alone in our house, Mom and Martha, and it was Christmas, and there was no tree, just a cold, quiet house, and Mom not even playing carols on the piano because she wouldn't have any reason to celebrate if I was still gone. Lost her husband when she was 29, lost her son at 44. I almost lied to you that morning. That's how much I loved you. That's how much I wanted you to be happy. But an order is an order, and I told you the truth. I said, time to go. Jeremy cocked his head at him. You remember? Only in a dream. Jeremy crossed his arms and leaned back and said, nobody tells you that when you go to another world, even if that is paradise, you'll still miss your mom and your dog. Why does it make me want to cry? I'm down bed crying at the gym. He's talking about, why he loves, Jeremy's talking why he loves Rafe, and he's like, let's go in alphabetical order, because my top 10's kind of shallow. Number 6, your eyes. Number 3, your mouth. Number 2, never mind. But what's number 1? Because I remember who you are, even if you don't. It's so cute. I'm cackling. If you know me, you know I do not like spicy books, and before it got into a steamy part, it's the storyteller corner. An adamantly infuriating interruption. Very sorry, but we'll have to close the door here and give our knight and our prince their privacy. After all, this isn't that kind of story. Love it. So this next like little storyteller chapter thing is they're having 15 days of celebration, one day for each year that they were gone, and it's going over like what happened each day. It's honestly kind of boring so far, but we'll get through it. We only have like an hour left in the book. Okay, so Emily's coronation is coming up, and it's like in day for 15. I think it deserves its own chapter. So I think chapter 36 is gonna be about whatever happened, which I'm assuming is the coronation. So Skaya got Emily a gift, and it's like a bag that's empty, and anything that could fit inside the bag, she has to hold the bag to her heart and say thank you for thee, and then the gift appears. And I feel like it's gonna be the magic pencil that her sister used to write this story, because Emily wants her to write a new story, a new ending, a part 2, whatever, to the story, to change it about her not being able to like leave and come back again. And she's like, I haven't written since I was 13. I lost my pencil in that man's truck, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like she's going to wish for the pencil so that Skaya can keep writing. I think Rafe is going to open the book. I guess he was worried because his dad, I guess, said that if he opens it, it'll poison him against his mother. And basically was talking with Skaya. She's like, I wish I had a mother who had loved me like you. So go open it. Loved you like yours loved you. Emily is claiming that she's staying, so we'll see if that's real. I was right. She said, I figured out what I wanted for my gift. You sure you don't want to think about it? Before she lost her courage, Emily wrapped her fingers around the bag and whispered, thank you for the magical unicorn mechanical pencil with the endless pencil lead, just like the one my sister used to have, so she can write another story. Skaya stared at her wide-eyed. Emily reached into the bag and pulled out the pencil. Now you have a pencil. Emily gave it to her sister, her queen. I love you, Brett. I love you too. Can't wait to read your next story. I don't know if you can tell, but I literally have goosebumps. He's opening the book. It's all right. You are all right, Jeremy said, as Rafe held on to those words like a lifeline, even as he sank beneath the surface of an ocean of memories. Oh my goodness. I also only have 30 pages left, and I'm thrilled because I just want to go to sleep. BRB sobbing. I won't remember I love you, so I don't know what'll happen. I won't ask you to like wait for me, you know what I mean? I know, but please don't forget you love me. He's remembering, and his mom is the one who taped back the picture that he drew and slid it under his door, and he let him, it said better, he can't tell him the truth. He can't say the book slid under his bedroom door taped back together, because then it's mom out here in the shed, better hid than mom. Say you're sorry, or you're gonna regret the day you were born. Don't say it. He got an electrical cord in his hand, and Rafe says it. I already do. I can't. No, don't tell me Jeremy's gonna die. They're talking about how, like, they don't want to go back, and Rafe's like, oh, I can't, like, leave my mom, like, she'll die of grief, and he's talking about how his mom gave him back the pictures, and she was whispering, I did my best to put it back together, and she was whispering because she was scared of the dead, too. And he says, we don't have to decide today, right? We have time, Jeremy said. Good point, we have time, we have lots of time. Rafe turned to Jeremy, raised his head to kiss him, and that's when an arrow struck Jeremy in his back. Time's up. No! They have to take him home because he needs a doctor. Oh my god. They have to go back through the ghost town because it's the only way to get back to the regular world quick enough. And he says the bright boys will swarm us. I can't fight this fear. You can. It's not courage that repels them the most. It's love. Love casts out fear. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Jeremy is like begging for him to like let him die there because he doesn't want him to have to give up being a prince and living there. And he's like, there's something I remembered that you forgot. I was lost. That day we met, the day you saw me drawing my stupid coyote in the notebook, I was already so lost. If you hadn't found me, I could have ended up just like my father. Do you understand that? And remember, you guys are gonna die. You said you could sense where I was because deep down I knew I belonged here. That was home. That's why I was lost. Because I wasn't here. I was lost because I'm lost without you. All this time I've been lost without you, and you're the only one who could ever find me. If you die, I'll be lost forever. Y'all, I'm like highlighting this whole page. You, Rafe whispered in his hand, are my kingdom. Where you are is where I belong, and I remember that I loved you all this time. I just forgot I remembered. I'll never forget again. As long as we are here, I outrank you. So when I say we're going home, you say, time to go? Right, exactly. Time to go. Which is exactly what they said last time. I'm scared. The next story corner thing says apologies. I'm sorry about this. To quote the queen, I wrote the story. I don't make the rules. If he dies, I swear to God. Tempest hugged Jeremy because he's dying, and she said, you're the only one who could ever disarm me. I'm almost glad you're going. That's not true. Then for the first time in Shenandoah's recorded history, a Valkyrie hugged someone. She returned to her place among the guards. I swear if he does not make it. Guys, this is not looking good. Jeremy keeps passing out. He's like, Jay. Rafe wiped sweat from Jeremy's forehead, panting out words. Jeremy said, I'm done. No, Rafe said. No, I can keep going. Jeremy shook his head no again. Damn it, Jay, don't give up. This can't be the end. I won't let it be the end of us. We just found each other again. Go back to Shenandoah without me. Promise me. No, I won't go anywhere without you. Born to be a prince. Stop. I literally can't. I can't. I gotta go. Guys, I can't take it. I can't take it at all. They asked the bird to go help them, and then the bird flew away, and then a mist came, and a mist swirled and then parted, and Rafe heard heavy steel-toed work boots. Dad? Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Jeremy, let him. Last chance. His last chance or his father's last chance? Both, and Rafe's last chance, too. The dad is saving Jeremy, and then he comes back like it took all of his effort. Dad, come on, but his father only shook his head as if it took every last of his strength. His father opened his mouth. Rafe knew what he would say, what he would ask if Rafe forgave him. But this time he would say yes. But his father only said, don't be like me. And Rafe said, I'm not. Fly away, Rafe said, or he transformed into a robin. Fly away, Rafe said, the sky is waiting. Cannot. I think he's gonna live. Rafe's mom came to see him in the hospital, and Jeremy says, Mom, yes, it's Mom, now go back to sleep. I can't. Y'all, I think this camera sucks dick, but oh my God. So his mom gives him this piece of paper that like his dad had written. They found it in like the cabin. She tells him to read it, and here's what it says. And remember how his dad said, don't be like me. It says, in my dreams, I'm young again, a young father of a young son. My young son sits at the table, teaching himself to draw wolves from a book. In the dream, I pat him on the back with one hand and close the book with the other. Come on, I say, I'll teach you to hunt wolves. He puts his pencil down. He'd follow me anywhere. Lesson 1, I say, find a wolf. I wake up an old man in an old world. I want to call my boy, still young somehow, to say I'm sorry I closed his book of wolves. To say I'm sorry I was the only wolf he found. Lesson 1, I'd say, don't be like me. I can't. I literally can't. I have chills so bad. Oh, I don't know if you can see them. Literal chills again. Because the queen had yet another task for Jeremy. When he's feeling better, she wanted him to send a postcard addressed to a retirement community outside of Venice, Florida. So he sends it to a Deborah Adler. And it's an old-timey painting of the Shenandoah River that brought back memories, not all of them sweet. She loved living in West Virginia until the horrific kidnapping of one of her favorite former students had broken her heart and she moved away. When she read the back, she put her hand on her chest and sank to the ground. Tears fell on the words written in the strange hand, a strange hand but a familiar name. The postcard read, Shannon Yates asked me to tell you, thank you for the unicorn pencil, Mrs. Adler. It really was magical. Rafe heard a weird tapping, and then he went outside, and like it seemed as though he thinks he might have imagined it, like a unicorn, a tiger, Skaya herself. And then Jeremy wakes up and says that he had a weird dream that like they were back in the Crow, and Emily had a gift. What was the gift? I don't know. I woke up before we opened it. They're like, we might as well go look. And Rafe says he'll drive, and they get in the car, and Landslide by Stevie Nicks plays, which has been the theme song of this whole book. All right, Emily, we're coming. The song played on. It's not my favorite. Too sentimental. Oh my God. Their horses are back in the real world. That might be what the gift was. Because they're walking, because they say they can't feel the magic. We're going to go home. That's where the nurse and her boyfriend found us. I wonder whatever, Jay. Look. And Sonny and Freddie drank from the Goblin Falls. Oh my God. So Emily got a secret from a mermaid before she left, and she says, I know I'll see you again. I meant it. The secret the mermaid told me was a day will come and we will eat golden apple Christmas cake together as snow falls on Half Moon Hill, and on that same night I will dance at your wedding. honestly a perfect ending. It's basically revealing to you that the narrator is Skaya, and it says, it's going on. Okay, and well, now the story's over, so I'm supposed to say, and they lived happily ever after. That's how fairy tales end. But this isn't, and this is a fairy tale. Except it doesn't feel that happy without Rafe and Jeremy here. There are 2 empty seats at my table, and my sister spends her few free hours in the library trying to find a way to bring them back. And not a day passes, Aurora tells me, that Rafe and Jeremy do not think of us as and long to return to Shenandoah. And since fairy tales have happy endings, this means one of 2 things. Either this is not a fairy tale, or it is just the beginning. Loved it. And there's a recipe for this Christmas cake that I will not be making, but love, love, love. Give me a moment to compose myself. Okay guys, we have finished our book club book, and this went so well. Meg Schaefer is now a 2-book, 5 out of 5 stars. Both of the books I've read by her, I think that they're her only 2 books. Yes, because it says by Meg Schaefer. It's literally just The Wishing Game and this, and they are both 5-star books for me. I think Meg Schaefer does the kind of fantasy that I like, because I am not a fantasy girl. I don't like smut, and I feel like a lot of like the people are like, well, then read romantasy because you have the romance, but like I feel like it's usually very smutty, and that's not really my speed. And like they're usually really long. This is short. It is like a 300-page book, and you understood what was happening. You got what was going on. It was like the magic system was like the same level as Harry Potter or something easy like that. Like it's based off of Chronicles of Narnia, which again I still know nothing about, but it was just so beautifully done. It brought me to tears so many times. I like had chills so many times. I'm literally sweating my ass off in here, getting chills over this book. It was so good. I hope you've read it. I hope you give Meg Schaefer the love she deserves. I will say, though they are both 5 stars, if I was to recommend one over the other, I would recommend The Wishing Game over this, because it's a book about books, and I am a slut for a book about books. But we have finished it. It is done. Another one in the books, and this is my first 5-star of the month, and I'm very excited because I have been slumping real hard. And I'm just so good. I've had 3 stars. Out of the last 6 books I've read, half of them were 3 stars and like low 3. So I'm so beyond happy to get a 5-star book. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you join the book club down below. Who knows what we'll be reading next, but we will be voting on it. And you don't want to miss that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope you're enjoying Vlogmas, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.